Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1, a United View debut for Micah. What do you make of that win?
Listen, that win was so nerve-wracking. Like, for my first debut here, sitting there, I didn't know what much to make of it. But listen, we got through it in the end. You know, Casemiro. I think the Casemiro red card is what really set us over the edge. We played well in the first half, well, somewhat well, and then we kind of coasted in the second half. Although we got the goal, the second goal, that Casemiro sending off, it derailed us the whole time through. But we got the win in the end. But yeah, comfortable.
Let's talk about Weghorst, because he was, I think, a key part of the pressing in the first half. What do you make of his performance and, you know, the qualities that he brings to Manchester United?
I was saying on the match view, like, Weghorst is coming across like one unsung hero. He does a lot of the behind the scenes work as he comes deep, holds up the ball well, you know, plays in the wingers. And I feel like a lot of his work that isn't seen through. Like, a lot of the times our breaks or, you know, our forward passes, it starts from Weghorst winning the ball back, tackling in the midfield, or even just pushing or like running after like the goalkeeper, the defenders, to make sure that they can't get an easy ball out to the wingers or whatnot. So yeah, as I said, Weghorst, listen, if he's not going to get the goals, he's not going to get the assists, but people will make it seem like he's not doing much behind the scenes, but really and truly he is. And I think he's a great signing, great addition to the squad. Although I would still put Martial as our number 1 when he is fit. But Weghorst, he's put in a shift today for us, and yeah, I'm happy.
You said Martial, when he is fit, obviously he's out again with an injury. Talk about Marcus Rashford, who got another goal added to his goal tally again. What do you make of not just his first half performance, but also the second half when he scored?
I think Rashford, we were also again talking on the match view that, listen, Rashford, he was kind of walking back into his last season mannerisms, the shots that he was taking, that poor decisions he was making. There was a time in the first half, I believe he should have passed. He took a half volley when he should have passed onto Bruno. But listen, he scored. We've said that in this season that, listen, Benny McCarthy's been working very closely with him, and that number 9 position, he finds himself in the right positions at the right times where the ball comes to him. And listen, it's not an easy thing to do. He needs to be in the right positions at the right time to get that tap in, and people think it's an easy tap in, but not everyone can do it. You can see Martial, he's getting better at it, but he doesn't do it a lot of the time. And you see Rashford's making great progress there, and it just shows the player that Marcus Rashford is. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play down the middle, he can do so many different things. And us having the ability to put Marcus Rashford in that centre attacking role when we take off someone to bring on the likes of Garnacho, it really helps us out. So him being there, it's a boost to us. But again, as Martial isn't fit, that's sometimes what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to play Rashford down the middle. We're going to have to play Weghorst. But yeah, I'm just happy that Rashford is progressing better and better every game.
No, he definitely is. I think he's on his way to probably 25 goals this season. I think he definitely could get it. Another big part of our performance today was Fred. I know a lot of people are always torn about Fred and what he adds to the team, but what do you make of his performance today?
Listen, Fred is my guy. Fred has always been my guy. I got a number 17 Fred shirt at home. Listen, Fred, people like last season or season before were saying that McTominay's better than Fred. Now, I'm not one to slander our players, but I've always said Fred was the better player. He brings more. His interceptions today, my God, the things that this guy does that really helps alleviate pressure from us is so good. And sometimes it is unsung, you know. Today, listen, the small bits of time wasting, the passion that this guy shows, like, he's a Man United player. He may not be a starter. He may not be, you know, the most flashiest person, but he's a good player to have in our squad. He wins the ball back. He isn't able to always play that pass. You know, after he's won the interception, you're thinking, okay, now go on and make that, you know, defense split and pass. He can't really do that. But what he does do is that he wins the ball back for us and able to pass on to the better players. So I'm just happy that he's in our squad. I wouldn't let go of him in the summer. I really wouldn't. I would keep him on as that squad player because you can see what he does. He doesn't get injured much. So he's a reliable player that we have in our midfield. Especially now that Casemiro's been sent off, he's going to have to play way more games. I'm thinking him and Sabitzer in the middle and Bruno. Maybe, I don't know what Ten Hag would do. He might bring Sancho back into that cam position and bring Bruno back a bit. We actually don't know what he's likely to do. But I'm happy we've got Fred in this squad, and that performance today from him is unreal.
Talking about obviously the Casemiro sending off and that incident, how do you think the momentum changed in the game once we went one man down?
Listen, Casemiro is that pinnacle of our midfield where if we remove him from our midfield, it becomes such a hard way to win the ball back and get up the pitch. Fred wins the ball back, but Casemiro's able to win the ball back and play that defense splitting pass, or like beat a player and run with the ball. So when he now comes off, we don't have that sort of anchor in our midfield, and it just allowed Palace to just continuously bypass our midfield and get into our final third. I don't know what we're going to do without him. I really hope Ten Hag has a plan, but listen, once Casemiro came off the pitch, you saw what happened. You saw we were unable to stop Palace from coming forward. We were unable to win the ball in the midfield and bring up the pitch. Yes, granted, we were a man down, but you could just saw the impact this guy has. And although Sabitzer came on and helped out and did what he could do, you still saw that the gap that Casemiro leaves in our midfield. But listen, it was a stupid thing for him to do. I know heat of the moment comes into it, but as an experienced professional, you need to know that, listen, there's VAR around. I have no complaints of the red card, because if that happened to one of our players, I'd be screaming for their head. So I have no complaints. I just hope we don't miss him too much. It's Leeds twice and Leicester, so I think we can get past them if we just, hold in deep, and we'll move on from there.
Obviously, we saw Ten Hag, we saw us go a man down, Garnacho come off, a defensive change, obviously, after he had come on. What do you make of the way that the team saw the game out, 5 in the back? Lisandro Martinez, big player. Rafael Varane, big player. Luke Shaw did pretty well today. What do you make of that back four today? I'm
not a guy to get angry at going 5 at the back, especially in those circumstances. I think win the game any means necessary. So Ten Hag bringing on Lindelof and bringing on Maguire and going to a back 5, I think was needed. And I think that was a smart thing to do. Martinez, there's not much to say. I regard him as one of the top 5 centre-backs in the world, not just in the league. Like, he's literally amazing, and rival clubs are going to say that literally he's not that good a player. If you watch the game today and see how he literally took that hold, I was saying earlier that if you take him out of the team, you'll see such a big gap. You take out Lindelof, you take out Varane, and you take out Martinez and Casemiro. That triangle is a base of our team, really and truly. We can't go without them. So to take out one of them dislodges the team. But I'm just so happy we have him. I'm so happy we've got Varane. That partnership. We were saying earlier that last season or season prior to that, when we have Lindelof and Maguire, we'll be scared in certain situations. But today although towards the end of the game I was nervous, majority of the game before the red card, I was so relaxed, knowing that, listen, whatever is thrown their way, they will deal with. And I'm just happy how composed they can be towards the end of the game. We've seen calamity in past seasons that when a team gets back in the game late, Maguire and Lindelof, they just collapse and we'll either lose the game or draw it and drop points. So I'm just happy that we got through the game. I'm happy we've got Martinez, that strong character, and yeah, we can't lose any more players.
You said it in the match view, title charge still on?
100%, 100%. Arsenal aren't that team, literally. They've lost today to win the league, but I'm not saying that we have no chance in winning it. There's some people saying that, listen, Manchester United, we're not in it. It's Arsenal to lose. Yes, it's Arsenal's to lose, although they're not that team that we can't beat. They're not prime Barcelona. They're not, the Galactico Real Madrid. They're just Arsenal, do you know what I mean, that are playing a very good informed Arsenal. So I feel like we could have beat them at the Emirates, but we didn't have Casemiro. And as I said, he's such a big vocal point in our team. So title charge is still on. Is still on. We can win so many trophies this season. I believe Ten Hag wholeheartedly, but I wouldn't count us out just yet. 21's on the way.
21's on the way.